Udesa.
My name is Alakoyaki Ayabami. I'm the one taking you economics. And today, the topic I want to take you is economic questions or problems. Economic questions or problems. What do you mean by economic questions? You know, as we all know, every question deserves an answer. That's why we are making it to be problem, because every problem deserves solution. So what brings about these problems that we have to solve in our economy, that is in our day-to-day economic activities, is number one, what to produce is a question for economists. Two, how to reduce. Three, for you to reduce. Four, efficiency allocation of resources. Allocation of resources. Now, look at all these questions on the board that we have to solve in our economic activities. But first, what brings about these questions or problems is two things. Number one is scarcity. Two, wants and limited wants. You understand that human wants are unlimited, uncertain, unsatisfied. But we have limited resources. That is, our resources are not abundant to satisfy all the numerous wants. And this brings about these questions on the board. What to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and efficiency allocation of resources. When we say what to produce, it means that what are those goods that human wants need? And what will bring the decisions about, oh, this is a particular thing we want to produce, which means we must identify the wants of human in the society before we bring about, oh, this is what we want to produce. For example, look at this marker. Before we produce this marker, definitely there must be a need or wants of human being to use this marker before we arrive at what to produce. The second one is how to produce. Now, another example is our phones we use in communication. We know that communication is very key in our day-to-day activities. So, if we now need phones that makes people to produce phone, that is what to produce phone because we need communication. So how are we going to produce these phones is another question that is begging an answer in our economy. Which means, how are we going to produce this phone? Are we going to use labor intensive to produce it or capital intensive? What do I mean by this? Labor intensive means we are using more labor to use in the production activities of this phone, or are we using more machines, which means capital intensive? More machines, less labor. Understand? For whom to produce? That is, after solving the questions or problems of what to produce, how to produce that particular items that human beings need. Who are the people we are producing for? Who are the people to use this thing? That is for whom to produce. Who are the people? Is it the middle income class, lower income class, or the high income class? Is it the schools we are producing for? Is it the farmers? Is it the medical doctor and the health sectors? That will be like for whom to produce. Number four question is efficiency allocation of resources. when we're talking about efficiency or allocation of resources, that is where one of the basic concepts of economics comes in, opportunity cost. That is, what are we sacrificing that will make us achieve solutions of solving these three questions? The resources we have, how are we going to utilize it? How are we going to use it that will make sure that it is optimal use, it is adequately used to solve this problem? Now, after solving this, the next question is, how is every country, how is each country, how is countries solving the above questions? How is countries solving the above questions? How is countries solving the above questions? This is very simple. The way countries solve these above questions is by using economic system. Using economic system. What do you mean by economic system? This is talking about how is the means of production, distribution, exchange of goods and services is being done. Economic system, which talk about how we are going to solve all this. In the economic systems, we have different systems that come to use to solve the above questions. Number one is capitalist economic system, which means the means of production, distributions, and the exchange of goods and allocation of resources is determined by the private individuals. That is, the countries allow private individuals to solve what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and efficiency allocation of resources, which means private individuals were given free hand to own business, to own factors of production, to produce goods and services for people to use. The second economic system they use is socialism, call it socialism or social economic system, which means the means of production, distribution, and exchange of goods and services is done by the government. That is, the government is not providing solution to the above questions. In terms of what to produce, is leaving in the hands of government, establishing business, installing machines that will produce a particular good and service that's needed by individuals. And it is also the government that will determine how that particular product should be produced, and also the government that will determine who are the people to satisfy their wants, to sell those goods to. And it's also the government that will determine how they will allocate the limited resources available using production opportunity cost. The third one is mixed economic system. The next one is mixed economic system. Economic system. Under this mixed economic system, it's talking about the economic society in which both capitalism and socialism operate. What do you mean by that? Both private individuals and government establish business that will give solutions or answers to the above question of what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and efficiency allocation of resources. For example, look at Nigeria. Nigeria fall into the category of this mixed economic system. We see that there are some business organizations that is owned by governments, and there is also business organization that is owned by private individuals. One of it is the health sectors and commercial sectors. We see that there are some schools that is owned by governments. There are some schools that is owned by private individuals. That's why we have private schools and public schools. Also, in the health sector, we have public hospitals, we have private hospitals. We have state hospitals, and we also have different hospitals that is owned by private individuals that is named by private individuals' names. can see. That's where, how, that is how government of every country solve the economic questions or problems above. Problems of what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and efficiency and program of resources. Now, the number 2 questions again that I want to solve is, what is aid to trade? What is aid to trade? Everybody knows that aid means something that will help you make things easier. And in terms of trade, it means something that will facilitate trade. And what do you mean by facilitate? Something that will make the smooth operation of buying and selling, that will make it easy. That will be by aid to trade. And there's another word that is used for aid to trade. We call it ancillary to trade. Ancillary to trade. Which means that it is the what facilitates the smooth operations of running of buying and selling. So we have many items under aid to trade, which are: 1, we have insurance; 2, we have transportation; 3, we have warehousing; 4, we have banking; 5, we have advertising; 6, we have communication. All these listed items are what makes trade to be easy for us. Number 1, insurance. What does insurance do to make trade easy? Insurance is the one that helps us make provisions for future loss. Can you imagine someone doing business and is trying to make provisions for theft or fire, because you can't determine what will happen to that business in the future. So insurance will enable us to make provisions for that future risk for us that we will not see. To make us to do what? To be indemnified when the loss that later occur, and that will not affect our business. It will not affect our buying and selling. 2, transportation. This one is one of the aids to trade that make the smooth moving of goods from where it is produced to where it is needed. That expects that a good is produced in Lagos. How will it get to human beings or individuals that need it in Ibadan? Definitely, it must move. And that moving of that goods from where it is produced, which is Lagos, to Ibadan, will be facilitated using transportation. Either by air, either by road, either by water, either by donkeys or traditional way. At least the goods must move to where it is needed. For that, the consumers that need the goods is satisfied. The consumer that produce goods is satisfied. Warehousing. This one is one of the aids to trade that helps us to store goods or keep it until it future demand, so that this will not obstruct the buying and selling when there is a rush or high demand, you can say, in the particular goods the producer is producing. Because the producer will foresee that this particular product will be in high demand in a particular period. Let's assume maybe in a rush hour or in a seasonal period. Christmas is coming. We know that some people will need some items more than when it is in when it is not Christmas period. So for that, if we allow the producer or manufacturers to produce that goods in large, in order to cater for that high demand coming. Banking. How does banking facilitate or make the trade, buying and selling, easy or smooth? By providing capital for the businessman to use in forms of loans or overdrafts. For example, I'm a businessman and I need 10 million naira. But I am left with 1 million naira as my personal savings and profit and all the likes, or retained profits. 1 million naira. How would I push in the 9 million naira in deficit? Which means I'm going to approach the bank. The bank is going to charge me interest. I will still enable me to go further in my buying and selling. So the bank, our approach, will help me to pushing the deficit of 9 million naira, which is by providing money for me to make sure that I engage in their economic activities and both parties. Then I'm able to produce goods using the money provided by the bank, while the banks also gain by charging interest, which makes them to keep their operations moving. Advertising. Advertising is one of the aids to trade, that is one of the things that makes trade to be very smooth. In the sense that it's the ones that brings our products to the notice of the customers that need it. We will tell them this particular product is available, it's advertised that will make the consumer to know. It also informs them how that particular product should be used. And where will they get that product? You can see advertising will help us. It is buying and selling. Oh, now we have a new product that we just designed for the consumer. The consumer is not aware about it. We will use advertising to create the awareness for the consumers. Oh, we have made this particular new product for you. This is what the product does. This is where you can get it. And then this is how it looks like. It's advertising that will enable us to do that, and which will enable us to sell more and make profit to us. Because the advertising will help in trading and selling. After we have created awareness for the product, we will give the product an insight of the product that is in the market, which means it aids them to buy. Communication. Communications is a way of sending and receiving messages. You can imagine I'll be buying from a particular seller or supplier about my raw materials used in production. So if I need more supply of that thing, which means I don't have to leave my factory looking for the supplier. It's just a matter of making communication by calling or sending news, by making a requisition form or purchase order. So it is these communications that will aid us in buying and selling. Oh, if particular customer is calling his seller in the next 3 days, please endeavor to supply us a particular quantity of goods in our warehouse or in our store. You understand? The seller will get that. So if communications that aid that, and you can see it enables the smooth transactions of buying and selling. Having said this, I believe I've done a perfect justice to the questions about economic questions or problems, how countries solve the problems or questions, and the aid to trade that we have, and what is aid to trade. Having said that, I believe if there is any questions, maybe you get me.
Okay, so when we are talking about insurance, there is one sharp word that you use. I think it should be an economic term. Okay. You're talking about indemnity or something like that. Okay. Can you explain to me? I want to know about it, sir.
Fantastic. I love that. It means a very sharp word.
Thank you, sir.
When we are talking about indemnity, it means when an insurance company is restoring back a business to when the risk or loss has not occurred. For example, somebody has a business in which there is a lot of goods that is stored inside that store, and then the fire now happens. When fire happens, it means going to burn down the store. So the insurance company is identified. The word identify means it's going to restore back the supplier to when the shop is hosting those commodities without fire.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you.